in previous video, we have learned how to structurize a Express.js project in a basic way. In this video, we are going to more deeper for structurizing a Express.js project. Actually, the structuring of a project is depends on its operation and how the code is organized. So for the modules which are associated with a table, we can create multiple routes file for a single module and use those multiple routes according to the middleware. For example, in previous video, we have learned how token middleware helped user routes to be private by a token. So the user routes are validated and restricted by a token middleware, whereas the auth root are public. Both are pointing to the same module. That means both are pointing to the same database table. And in today's video, we are going to explore the product module. So in previous module, we have actually root file and one service file. Root file was holding all the roots, whereas the service file were holding all the validation and database operation. So as we can see, service file is doing multiple tasks, validation and database operation, two tasks. So we can distribute the service function into two layers, and that is done on product module. So in product module, now we have three files. One is product root, one is product service, and one is product controller. This is the new file. Why? This is handling all the validation for a API endpoint or a API root. So first it will come to the root where we are injecting the controller file, not the service file anymore. And we are calling the function from the controller file. So for router.post/products, it's going to call the create product function inside the product controller. And if we open the product controller, then here we have the create product function. And here we can see we have the product service injected to this controller file. So we can do the validation for each endpoint. That means each endpoint means each function is represent a endpoint validation. So here for create product, we have the create product, and here we are getting the data from the request body and then validating it. So after validation, we are calling the service function create product. So the product service create product will have only the database operation, no validation for the API data. Incoming request data is validated on the controller file, and then if the data is not valid, we are directly returning the response of the API from here. If the data is valid, then we are going to call the service function from the product service. That is a separate layer added in product module. So in real production application architecture, we will use controller. Before doing any data operation, we have to validate that incoming request. So for that, we will use controller. So a module will be distributed into three files: controller, root, and service. And here you can see we are not exporting at the end. In user service, we can see we have exported all the function directly in line. But in before request middleware, we are declaring the function first and then exporting using module.export. Both are the correct way. You can use this way as well. So I have written two types of export to make you clear how the exports work. So hope you are clear about the Express project structure. Thank you.